hockey fans, are you ready to brave the wild? With me, your host, Paladino Joey. Brave the Wild is available on thesportstuff.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and Double Twist. Nice to be back on board once again, talking hockey with you today. Minnesota Wild had a fairly solid week here. In fact, a very solid week, 3-0. Yes, indeed. Some not so scary opponents. None of them will probably make the playoffs, but you've got to get the job done. You know, all these trap games, Arizona, this and that. I mean, for some reason, we can't beat teams like Arizona. For the longest time, we couldn't beat Carolina. We didn't even beat Detroit in the season opener. We can't beat Vancouver in Vancouver. Well, we took care of business on all three, so good. 3 games to review, 3 games to preview. Let's get her going here, eh? Okay, I got to stop saying that. March the 4th, Sunday, March the 4th, Sunday evening game. Not bad. A little scary at the beginning. Had that trap game feel to it. It certainly did in the early goings there. Detroit was able to get the 1-0 lead. And then Nick Seeler would play his last game with the Wild for extended period. At least he didn't play in the next couple here. Got in a pretty aggressive fight there. Very nice. Really got the job done. Nick Seeler taking on Luke Witkowski. Definitely one of the tough guys in the NHL. And this was a real fight. This was not one of those just grab, wrestle, and throw the guy to the ground. This was ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. This was Blaze of Steel kind of style, where they're literally just hitting each other in the head over and over and over and over. Apparently, Steeler's arm basically is sore. It's his bicep kind of sore. I don't know, from grabbing the guy or just from his tough physical play. He'd been such a nice story for the Wild, but he's missed a few games here. It's not the end of the world just yet, so luckily he's only missed 2 games. He'll probably be back at some point, and Gustav Olsson deserves some playing time. There's just so many left-shot defensemen on the Wild and in the system and all that, guys that obviously deserve to be in the NHL. Of course, Suter and Brodin, those are no-brainers in the NHL. But I think Steelers are pretty much a borderline no-brainer to play in the NHL now. He's one of those physical anchor Richard Matvichuk defensemen. I always bring that name up because there's certain guys that this team has lacked over the years, that Willie Mitchell type, that's just physical, tough, and just in the right place, right time, and they're able to get the job done, and that's what Nick Seeler does. He's not a power play quarterback. He's not this, he's not that, but he's going to chip in points here and there. I mean, he's going to accidentally get it to 15 to 20 points, maybe a couple goals and 15 assists, something like that, 17-point type of guy, and be a lot more interesting in doing it, like actually making big stops, just getting in the way, toughing out people and such, clogging the lane, all that, pushing back the forecheck. And, you know, I mean, that's what the Wild have needed for a long time, and they've certainly lacked that from ever since Willie Mitchell left. And there's your maybe kind of sort of a Willie Mitchell type, hopefully. I think Carson Soucy could be that as well. Unfortunately, again, left-shot defenseman. So somebody's going to have to get traded at some point or injured, which you don't necessarily want anybody to get hurt. So there's 5 left-shot defensemen there when you consider Gustav Olofsson. Of course, Mike Riley was traded to the Montreal Canadiens, and he's like the best defenseman ever, I guess. Kind of. Okay, he's getting real minutes now. He's getting like top defenseman or second pairing minutes. Gustav Olofsson started to get that. Seeler started to get some of that as well. Seeler got a lot of time with the second pairing up with Spurgeon for a while there. That was pretty cool. Man, and it was definitely a nice sight to see guys moving up. And again, Olofsson did that earlier as well. Then you had the weird situation with Colorado. Prosser and Olofsson out there. No Prosser. Seeler and Olofsson out there. Both left-shot defensemen on the bottom pairing. That was strange. But let's get to the actual Detroit game. After the fight with Seeler and Witkowski, things changed in a big way. The Wild started scoring goals. He's earning the respect of his teammates. You just saw a sparked up group. Jason Zucker wound up with 2 goals in the game. Koivu with another assist. Granlund another one. Niederreiter finally finding himself on the board. But you're seeing, of course, the mainstay, the guy who scores every game now, Eric Staal. He's at 37 on the season. But you're seeing Zach Parise light the lamps now. And it's basically every night, and it's nice. Sometimes he'll get assists and that, but his timing is coming back. He's been playing his Zach Parise game close to the net, and either he finds a way where he'll get the puck to somebody else, serve up a juicy rebound, or, of course, score on his own or be the recipient of a nice pass, a deflection and such. And Parise's just been, he's been picking up his game, and this is really encouraging. Staal is playing like Eric Staal of 2006. He's playing like a 40-goal guy. He might, almost 50 goals. He's going to wind up with a 44, 45 the way he's going. Zucker's going to get to 30, God willing. We have scorers on this team, and it's funny. It's because it's like right under our nose. I mean, this whole time, and I've said this the last couple of shows, this whole time it's like a lot of us have this mindset, and myself included, there's just no scorers on this team. I guess there is. You got a guy who can score 40, or who will score 40, a guy who will score 30, and then you have others. Granlund, who's one of the best playmakers in the league, obviously. And then you have the Ageless Wonder, the title of the episode, Matt Cullen, who once again is doing his Mr. March, Mr. April, Mr. May, and June impression. He's back. Matt Cullen's back. The first month of the season, it was like, okay, this guy's done. But I'm sure the Pittsburgh Penguins thought the same thing the last couple of years. Slow out of the gate, just like that old Ferrari in the garage that we all have. Yeah, right. I'm just kidding. But no, maybe he's not quite Ferrari, but like a Cadillac. Like a Cadillac, nice car. Very nice car, but it's old, it takes a little while to get it going. But then vroom, and then all of a sudden, this car is really good still. Wow. There's mileage and everything, but this car stands the test of time. And that's Matt Cullen. Unbelievable. 41 years old, and you're seeing the Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup champion, Matt Cullen. You're seeing the Carolina Hurricanes, Matt Cullen out there again. And you're seeing the Minnesota Wild, Matt Cullen, on his previous stint, when he was really good the whole time for the most part, particularly late in the season. His final year here, a few years back, God, he was good, especially as the season progressed. And you're starting to see that guy again who's scoring goals. He's moving the puck forward, leading to assists. He's making good defensive plays. He's just Mr. Everything. Hockey's Mr. Everything in a lot of ways. And I don't mean as a star, but he power play, not too much on the power play, but occasional, some ice time on the power play, once in a blue moon, but penalty kill, absolutely. And he's just still the same guy. I mean, he's still got it at 41, and it's wonderful to see. You saw a dramatic improvement from Charlie Coyle. You're seeing Nino Niederreiter get rewarded a bit. You finally saw Coyle get rewarded with an empty net goal, only his 9th of the year. But this guy's effort is off the charts, and he's definitely stepped up a bit. He had a really nice game against the Vancouver Canucks, but also was pretty solid against Carolina. A lot of the players on this team have definitely stepped up in a big way. Eric Staal's scoring has disappeared off the face of the earth, and the saddest news of all, Luke Cullen, you'll notice, only got about 8 minutes on ice against the Detroit Red Wings because early in the third period, after a minor collision, or what we thought was a minor collision, he was limping off the ice. Didn't look okay, okay, he's hurt. Hopefully he's okay. Maybe he'll miss a game or two. And it's like, just like under the darkness of night, boom, ACL?
What? I mean, that's freaking awful.
What? Luke Cullen had an ACL tear. Luke Cullen had an ACL tear. What? Oh my God. He's called up. He's ready to go. This is great. Here we go. We're going to make this little push. Maybe we'll make a serious playoff run the way Matt Cullen, Zach Parise now, Eric Staal are playing. Jason Zucker, he's streaky, but when he's hot, he's unbelievable. Daniel Winnick is a mainstay, and I like him a lot more than most of you out there. Even Foligno chips in points here and there. The only guy who doesn't chip in anything is Tyler Ennis. Sure, he tries and everything, but he just doesn't finish. I mean, results are results. Niederreiter's starting to look a little bit better. Koivu's even factoring in a little bit more of late, which is great. But you have this excitement. The new wave. Here comes the new wave. Luke Cullen's getting it going. Obviously, it started with Eric Staal. The previous wave we've talked about a million times. The Zuckers, Granlunds, Niederreiters, and Coyles of the world, including Brodin and such. But then you have, again, Luke Cullen to go with Eric Staal. And more than likely, Jordan Greenway, who's looking better and better every day. Very exciting. But this is the next wave, Jordan Greenway and eventually Kaprizov. Yeah, we'll talk about Kaprizov at some point. Damn it. But there it is, ACL. And he's out for 7 months, approximately. So hopefully by October next year. Hopefully by October. I mean, doesn't your heart just ache when you hear that? It just aches. I'm sure he can practice. I'm sure he's going to work on this and that. But it's going to be rehab forever. It's an ACL, damn it. An ACL to Luke Cullen. So Very heartbreaking. Unbelievable left knee there for Luke Cullen. At least I'm pretty sure, right? No, it's the left knee. I'm just kidding. Very, very down right now. That's a bummer. You're looking forward to this guy's career. Hopefully he can come back stronger than ever and ready to go. But, God dang it, I'm tired of this Minnesota curse. I mean, it never stops. It never stops. You get all excited, ready to go, and then there's an ACL. Dalvin Cook with the Vikings, Zach Levine with the Timberwolves, and then Jimmy Butler with the meniscus. Come on. So it's just happened again. Again. We didn't even get to see this guy play hardly. I think he probably should have stayed one more year in Wisconsin. That's just my opinion, maybe, because it seemed like he was kind of, I don't know, with Iowa it took forever, but he was starting to show some signs. Of course, early in the season when he was with Minnesota, only managed 4 points. And obviously none of that led to the injury, just bad luck, and it sucks so bad. But I don't know, regardless what it was, Luke Cullen out until the autumn, out until next fall, or late summer, or whatever. That freaking sucks. So there's your situation there with Luke Cullen out 7 months. Minnesota ends up winning the game 4-1. Very cool. Jason Zucker exploding once again. Of course, everything factoring in right after Nick Seeler's beautiful fight there. That was cool. Eric Staal, Zach Parise, the wily veterans. As a lot of wily veterans have been stepping up of late. And then you got that first wave of stars. Dumba's another one of that group. Not stars, but big pieces on this team. Literally the Chuck Fletcher's first wave of prospects roaring into the league a few years ago. And they're looking better and better this year. It's been very encouraging, particularly ever since Bruce Boudreau got here. You're seeing great production out of Granlund and Zucker. And then Dumba's now at a career high at 38 points. He's going to have his first 40-point season, as long as he stays healthy and continues his pace. Very cool. Zach Parise again. Well, nice to see him factoring in. It's a good thing. So he's starting to look like the real Zach again. Starting to. And that's really encouraging as we head into the postseason, because the Wild could surely use that in a big way. Let's move on. Wow, 12 minutes into the show already. Holy Toledo. Carolina, wow. Well, you saw some fast scoring. You saw scoring early and often, and you saw it at a very fast pace. Cam Ward, one of the decent goaltenders out there, a guy who's been there since they won the Stanley Cup, them being the Carolina Hurricanes. Matt Cullen and Eric Staal, we've talked about a billion times, Stanley Cup champions with that club. Eric Staal finally scoring against his old club, and he did it twice, up to 36 goals. No hat trick this time, but Cam Ward, boy, after that Daniel Winnick goal, and you know what? God bless Daniel Winnick. I love Daniel Winnick. A lot of you don't. I don't know why. I really don't. I love Daniel Winnick. But yes, that's the whole thing. Put the puck on net. Maybe the goalie's not ready for it for whatever reason. Maybe it's just not his night. And yikes, that was embarrassing for Cam Ward. And he was taken out immediately after that one. The Wild ended up winning 6-2 as Darling would face a goal immediately from Eric Staal, as the Wild would score the fastest goal in franchise history, the fastest 4 bleeping goals in franchise history. Oh my, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's about 2 minutes faster than the previous record about 5 years ago in 2012. So, damn, that's great. Awesome. Anita Ryder, his 16th goal of the year. Zach Parise, 6th. Again, Zach Parise lighting the lamps again, as he would get a goal in all 3 of these games. As Parise again continuing to show what he can do out there, showing the old Zach Parise, as again Cam Ward not having his night at all. The Wild would go from 1-0 on the power play from Eric Staal, tipping it in from Ryan Suter and Jason Zucker, to wow. And again, Eric Staal scores in every bleeping game too. Wow, unbelievable. To 5-0, just 3 minutes into the second period. 5-0. Wow. Again, Eric Staal scoring while they were still announcing Daniel Winnick's goal, and Scott Darling had just entered in the game. Wham, goal for Eric Staal. Pretty damn cool. Awesome, man. What a fun situation there. 3 minutes, 38 seconds, and the Minnesota Wild just, wow, absolutely dominating the Carolina Hurricanes there, and of course dominating Cam Ward, who it wasn't his night, but still got one past Darling, who was solid the rest of the night. Matt Cullen would chip in his 9th goal of the year. A beautiful pass by Charlie Coyle. Incredible effort, keeping control of the puck from his knee, literally down on his knee. He was kneeling down. And it wasn't during the national anthem. Thank you, Charlie, for not doing that. Kneeling down and getting the puck centered to Matt Cullen for his 9th goal of the season. The Ageless Wonder continues to show what he can do out there, scoring against his former club. Very cool. 9th goal of the season, and I'm pretty sure that's his first goal with us against his former club. Certainly this year. Great. Matt Cullen got to a point where it was 9 goals, 9 assists. Now he winds up with 10 goals, 10 assists at the end of the week. He's at 20 points. Not the sexiest numbers ever, but certainly of late. I mean, we're talking 5 goals in the last 2 weeks here. Not bad for a guy who's 41 years old. And earlier in the season, looked like he was pretty much cooked. Really cool. Now people are going to probably start talking about, hey, is he coming back next year? Is he coming back next year? I lean against it, but we'll see. And I don't lean against bringing him back. I lean against him coming back. I'm just thinking he's probably going to step away. But who knows? I mean, you can tell he loves the game and he's having fun again. And who knows? Maybe the Wild will go on a run. Maybe he'll bring that magic, and I hope he does. I mean, when those two guys played together last time, they won it all. So, and Eric Staal, him being Eric Staal and Cullen, and Eric Stahl's playing at that level again. It's really cool. I'm so impressed with what's happening with Eric Staal with the Wild. Incredible. Best free agent signing in franchise history, without a doubt. One of their best trades, obviously. Dubnyk is way up there at the top. A third round pick, which, third round pick got you Ivan Lodnia, but now he's hurt, and he didn't play all week. So there's your update on Ivan Lodnia. 0, unfortunately. That's a downer. Minnesota heads to Vancouver. Well, we win 5-2, but it wasn't sure heading that direction for a long time. And you score on the empty netter and then score again. So the score beefed up a bit, but we'll take the extra statistics. Eric Staal scores again. Zach Parise scores again. Matt Cullen scores again. The Ageless Wonders. Really cool to see the veterans score again. Charlie Coyle had to work his ass off to get a empty netter. But a nice... just basically moving the puck forward for Matt Cullen for his 10th assist of the year. He had an incredible game, Matt Cullen. 10 goals on the season now, 7 shots on goal. The guy is just, okay, he could have probably got a hat trick in this game, and dead serious. But Nilsson, who's generally not that good of a goalie, and he wound up getting 4 goals against, because of the empty netter from Coyle. 4 goals against. The stats don't look good, but he was outstanding throughout the night. Made some great saves. Dubnyk, incredible. All week. Dubnyk was just insane all week, and good on him. Stopped 30 shots, 94% save percentage from Devin Dubnyk. Another fantastic week, and he's been on his game for the most part, other than that stupid Colorado game. And hey, if you're gonna have a crappy game here and there, and then come back and play like this, okay, sure. You're entitled to a bad game. Not that we want to have a bad game or anything, but if this is going to be the response afterwards, good on you. And some of the bad habits of this club starting to disappear a bit. It just sucks having Luke Cullen injured. It would be nice to just, it's getting to a point you got to scratch Tyler Ennis, even though he had a good game. Obviously, the bottom 6 in general has been playing fantastic. Of course, the top line with Staal, Zucker, and Granlund are insanely amazing. But, and Granlund, again, managing to get an assist like he does every single night practically. Staal getting a goal like he does every single night practically. But you're seeing really good play from the bottom 6, the Coyles, the Cullens, and such. Is it the third line? Is it the fourth line? I believe it's the third line, Coyle and Cullen. And it is. Right now, pretty much Eric Staal has been centering, Daniel Winnick, and Marcus Foligno, as Ennis has been on the third line. And again, he managed to get an assist. This was his best game in a while. The guy's been basically invisible forever. Occasionally have some good moments here and there, but generally speaking, Tyler Ennis, nothing special. Playing on the bottom 6 most of the season, occasionally even all the way up on the top line, just as Bruce Boudreau's been trying to find something here and there. Parise's been playing generally with Niederreiter and Koivu, and that line's been good, so good on them. That line's been doing well. They've stepped up a bit, and it's working. So if it's working, it's working. And of course, that the Staal, Zucker, and Granlund line, generally speaking, has been fantastic. Koivu did not get any points in this game, but still he was all right. He was solid. But Parise, again, finding a way to score. And this was a pretty spectacular shot, actually. The accuracy was insane on this shot. From a pretty tough angle there, almost on the sideline, the goal line, basically from the goal line, he was able to put that past Nilsson. Beautiful shot past Nilsson's shoulder. Was it luck? Was it not? It was a good shot, and that's all there is to it. Parise, one of the top forwards on the ice throughout the game, of course, getting lots of power play and penalty kill minutes, and he's been great. So nice to see Zach Parise looking like Zach Parise again. Awesome. Matt Cullen was downright fantastic throughout the night, I gotta say. Ryan Suter, always what he is, absolutely great. Dumba managing to get in the scoring. Gustav Olsson was able to score on Foligno's late goal there past Nilsson. I can imagine the frustration there as Foligno's falling down, and he's able to raise the puck as he's falling down, and it goes past Nielsen's shoulder. Good for Foligno. Good for Foligno and Olofsson, able to factor in the scoring there. And, of course, Daniel Winnick's 13th assist on the season. So all guys that could use a point or two. Gustav Olofsson now with 7 assists on the year, so good for him. Nice to see Olofsson's numbers climb a little bit, and obviously lack of minutes, the poor guy, because Nick Steeler was so great. But good couple of games from Gustav Olofsson, as, again, he deserves to be on the ice. Absolutely, but so does Nick Steeler. Nick Steeler standing out a little bit more, but Olofsson, during the course of the season, particularly during Brodin's injury, was showing more and more reason that he belongs in the NHL, and good on him, as he was able to jump up to the second pairing. Gustav Olofsson, obviously, a factor. Somebody, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded in the offseason, though. They're going to have to make a decision one way or another, because, there's a lot of guys on the same position there, again, and a good number of them. I mean, you want to get a look at them in the NHL. What can they do? But at the same time, you don't want to lose that depth either. Like when the Wild ended up losing Christian Folin. And it's like, okay, Folin's gone. That opens space for, wait a minute. Oh, shoot, that's right. And you wind up bringing in a bum earlier in the season. Very forgettable guy from the Detroit Red Wings. I don't even want to remember him, but I guess I'll try to. Kyle Quincy, that's who it was. Oh, God. Yeah, he managed to get 3 assists, and he looked like dog dookie the whole time he was out there. One mistake after another. A wily veteran who played like he didn't belong out there. That's how he played. He just, yeah. So, yeah, we let go of Christian Folin to get Kyle Quincy. Great. But Nate Prosser, wow, he's already played 42 games for the Wild. Isn't that crazy? 42 games for Nate Prosser already. It's been that long. He's been wonderful ever since. So, yeah, definitely a mainstay at that right shot defense. He only missed 1 game because they just sat him down. I think he was a bit sore as well. But that's when you had the Goose and, of course, Nick Steeler playing together, which was a little weird. But a lot of things went wrong in that game, that stupid 7-1 Colorado game. So with that, we'll wrap up the week here with the awards. Mike Modano Award is going to go to Matt Cullen and Eric Staal. It's going to go to a couple of Hurricanes from Carolina. Carolina Hurricanes. Eric Staal and Matt Cullen are going to get the Mike Modano Award. Amazing week. Honorable mention to Zach Parise, who was completely different. I almost had to throw him in there, too, because it's all about the Ageless Wonder or Ageless Wonders. Parise, it's not like he's that old, but then, Staal, Parise are kind of about the same age. And obviously, it's hard to call Zach Parise an Ageless Wonder when you consider how much time he missed and how he's declined as a player. But then again, you're starting to see the real Zach Parise again. And it's great. It took forever. And you know what? You should expect that. He missed how much time? Forever. He missed about a calendar year out there with the whole back issue and then finally had surgery when the season started. That's great. But I guess certain issues hadn't flared up enough. And now you're starting to see the real Zach Parise after all that timing and muscle memory, all that. I can't even imagine the muscle memory you would need to regain after having back surgery. I can't even imagine that, to go out and play NHL hockey. Not AHL hockey, not college hockey, high school, whatever, NHL hockey. And, well, that's why his timing was off, and it's starting to catch up. So you're starting to see Zach Parise look like the guy that could score 30 goals, a guy that could that could pile up the numbers, get 60 points. Obviously, he's not going to get that this year, but he's playing at that. He's going to be back to playing at that pace again, and that's pretty cool. So there it is. I'm very encouraged with how things are heading with Zach Parise and a lot of the veterans. The James Shepard Memorial, it's got to go to Tyler Ennis. The guy doesn't factor at all. He's got 19 points in 64 games. Now, so do other guys, but they play a role. Tyler Ennis's role is to score somehow, some way. Get assists, centering pass, whatever it is. It's like the effort's there, but the result isn't. And it's not like he can go out there and just check people into the boards and smash them all and be a physical presence. How could he be a physical presence? And when he tries to do that, he just gets hurt. And that's what's got him concussed over the years. Other than that, I don't know, man. Tyler Ennis, if Luke Cullen was healthy, I think it's time to get the old scratchy going, unfortunately. Because I think Foligno brings a little bit more. And he's been disappointing, too, of course. 21 points on the year. Okay, Foligno, statistically, that's pretty much what he's always been. So why are we sending him to a big extension for like almost $3 million a year? Kind of weird. I made some silly mistakes on the last episode, some silly ones. Koivu's contract is 5.5 a year. I was saying it was 4.5. It's 5.5, and I knew that. It just came out wrong. And I called the Miami of Ohio. I called them the Red Knights and the Scarlet Knights, they're the Red Hawks. And it's like, again, I knew it, but it keeps coming out wrong. And I'm silly because of all the different names, the Black Knights, the Golden Knights, the this Knights, the that Knights, the London Knights, of course, with Jacob Golden and such. So that's the explanation there, and it's kind of silly. So I do apologize for that. So with that, we'll wrap up this section. We're going to come back, preview 3 games, jump into the prospects, and call it a week. And we are back here on Brave the Wild. Time to get into the 3 games here coming up. We're going to be playing the Vegas Knights again, but we'll start things off with the Edmonton Oilers. Oh yeah, the Edmonton Oilers, the next team in the league, right? That's what I thought. And yeah, I thought the Oilers were the next team in the NHL. Yeah, no, not yet. Maybe someday, but I don't know. They got a little Garnett contract going on there with Connor McDavid, but still some talented players, but God, they suck. They're 5 games under 500, and they're like bottom and everything. The worst penalty kill, the worst power play. The worst power play? What? Wow, well, goaltending situation, not good. They're 22nd in total goals. Yikes, that sucks. But that's what happens. You got your top heavy, but after that, okay. Milan Lucic, only 32 points on the season. Of course, one of his 10 bleeping goals, that's it, was against the Wild. It was one of the sorriest bullcrap games ever. One of those stupid-ass matinee games. Well, this time it's Saturday night, baby, in Edmonton, Alberta. Sounds like a little fun there. Wow, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he was resurging last year, particularly. He was resurging earlier this year. He's stuck at 33 points. Oh, what happened to him? So there's not much going on other than Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl, obviously one of the better players out there. He's the well, I don't even know. Do you want to call him the Malkin? Do you want to call him the Scottie Pippen? What do you want to call him? The Yari Curry of the Edmonton Oilers behind Connor McDavid's Wayne Gretzky? I don't know. I guess he's about 20 points behind Connor McDavid, 21 goals, 39 points. Kind of in and off injured, but he's hung in there for the, generally speaking, Michael Camilleri, the former everything, Calgary Flames, New Jersey Devils, all those teams, wound up on the Edmonton Oilers recently, and he's got 2 goals in 43 games. That's pretty epic stuff. 18 assists on the year. Yet, the Wild can't beat this bleeping team all of a sudden. For quite the longest time, the Wild rolled right through this club. Like last year, Edmonton Oilers were one of the best teams in the NHL, 100-point plus season, one of the top seeds, second place in the Pacific Division last year. So when they start to stink a little bit, the Wild can't beat them. That's great. But, well, okay, it was just one game, but it was a horse bleep game on the 16th of December, 3-2 loss, regulation. That's the worst part. You come up with nothing. Well, back in the day, I used to say, well, how do you oil a rusty old machine? Well, if the Wild are playing a rusty old game, what's the best way to get things going again is oil. So Edmonton Oilers, kind of lame analogy, but it works. March the 10th, that's 2 nights, and then April the 2nd, we wrap up the season series in Xcel Energy Center. Well, we could still win the series, but we got to do it by winning this game first in Edmonton, the only game in Edmonton this season. So, okay, sure. Get the job done, guys. That would be greatly appreciated. This is Rogers Place. I get them all mixed up. But yeah, Rogers Place is where the Edmonton Oilers play, of course. They've been playing a little better. No, not really. They beat Arizona and the Islanders. But then they lost to the San Jose Sharks. Of course, Nashville's hotter than hot. They're insanely hot right now. They're playing fantastic hockey, 9 in a row, and number 1 in the Western Conference. They're better than Nashville. They're better than Nashville. Yeah, they're better than themselves. No, they're better than the Vegas Knights now, who are number 1 forever. Boy, don't get that 8th seed now. Nashville's going to beat you. Nashville might win the Stanley Cup. They might. Nashville and Tampa would be a great series, and I would applaud it. Unless the Wild can get there, I'd applaud that much more. Adam Larson, the trade of the century. Adam Larson for Adam Hall. Boy, Adam Hall is a Hart Trophy candidate. He's one of the best players in the league. He's dominating for the New Jersey Devils. And Adam Larson, well, he's got 8 points in 48 games. He's been oft injured. He's been mediocre. He's just average at best. 8 points. I mean, Jonas Brodin isn't known as a scorer, and he's got twice that many points. And he's missed time with broken bones. I mean, yeah, so I don't know. Adam Hall for Jonas Brodin. I think New Jersey would win that trade. But Adam Larson, for Jonas Brodin, or for Jonas Brodin, Adam Larson for Adam Hall. Oh, Edmonton. Whew. You know, shame on this team. But I don't know. The Wild still need to win the game regardless. It's not my problem. It's theirs. Cam Talbot over 3 goals a game. Louis Bruzet over 3 goals a game. Al Montoya, I remember that name from Montreal Canadiens, who used to kick the Wild's ass. Son of a gun. He's always had great numbers. Maybe he'll be in net. He's actually got okay goals against. No, okay, none of them have a goals against average under 3. Under 3. Al Montoya. These are just 6 games with Edmonton. 3.15. The defense isn't very good. Their scoring goals are from 3 guys. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got 17. Patrick Maroon is 14. He's the 4th leading guy. Connor McDavid with 31. And Leon Draisaitl with 21. But just win this game. That's all I got to say. Keep playing well. Alex Staal will be in net because it's a back-to-back situation. Hopefully the Wild didn't use up all their energy last night. I'm thinking no. I like the way the Wild are playing. I do. God, this is tough. Yes, I'm going to pick a win for the Minnesota Wild. I have to. I think the Wild absolutely need to win the season series. You lose the season series to this team the way they've been playing, shame on you. Minnesota gets the job done tonight. Final score, 4-2. Something along those lines, 4-2. Who's the most likely guy to score for the Minnesota Wild? Eric Staal, yeah. But let's go with, let's have some fun. I want Jared Spurgeon to score against his hometown. I want him to get it done. Jared Spurgeon or Tyler Ennis. Maybe they'll factor in together somehow, some way, because they'll be on the ice at the same time, which is not that impossible to imagine, because Spurgeon's on the ice an awful lot, being a defenseman and one of the best defensemen in the NHL, secretly. One of the best-kept secrets in the NHL, kind of. And Ennis just maybe will be on the ice, and I suppose he should be if it's his hometown. Yeah, I'm going to go with Spurgeon. He's going to score tonight against his hometown, and it's not, again, that unlikely that Spurgeon would score a goal. He's one of the better goal scorers for defensemen that I've seen suit up for the Minnesota Wild. But Minnesota's going to win the game, something other likes a 4-2, I'm sure. Yeah, watch Milan Lucic get one of the goals. It's going to be something lame like that, but that's usually how it is. But I think Minnesota wins 4-2 in a great effort by Alex Staal, who's going to face like 35 shots. Watch, it's going to be something along those lines, maybe even to the upper 30s, low 40s. But Staal will stand the test, and he will get the job done. Minnesota wins 4-2 over the. They need an oil change. Yeah, sorry for the lame pun again, but they need an oil change over there in a big way. And it's not going to help those big giant contracts, man. I mean, they strap you. That salary cap isn't going up enough. It sure it goes up because it just has to, but not enough. NBC Sports, yeah, we've had some good luck on these. I hope we can keep that coming. Boy, that weekend series coming up in the Southwest. God, I'd love to go on that trip. Vegas and Arizona. Oh, Phoenix and Vegas. And I don't gamble. I'm not into gambling. I love that part of the country. Southwest, man. Southwest. Get them cactuses going, boy. Cactuses and it doesn't sound like hockey land. Doesn't sound like a hockey market, but well, Vegas is looking like a nice enough market for anything. I mean, they love their sports in Vegas. They should too. I mean, sure, if you're placing bets, great. I'm sure they follow sports quite a bit there. Of course, half the people there currently don't live there. They're just there. You know what I mean? Right now because of they're visiting for gambling. Yeah. Well, we get to play Colorado again on NBC Sports. March the 13th. NBC Sports. Get the job done this time. This matchup has not been going well of late, but the Wild are ever capable of beating this club. They've been playing a hell of a lot better, generally speaking. Colorado has, or at least they had been. They crushed the Calgary Flames and Minnesota Wild, and then they lose to Nashville, Chicago, and Columbus. So, okay, they lose in Chicago 2-1. Yuck, that's not a good game. Columbus 5-4. Well played, I guess, but couldn't get the job done in net, that's for sure. Nashville 4-3, no surprise there. But at least this is a home game. The Wild play great at home. And when the Wild are at home on national television, they tend to have these pretty fun games. I'm not expecting any 7-2 type of game, but boy, these have been some ugly ones with Colorado this season. The Wild had a close victory in Xcel Energy Center on the 24th of November, winning in the shootout, scoring 2 goals to Colorado's zilch. That was a nice game. I believe Alex Staal was in net. Ooh, boy. Well, we'll be talking about Stalock obviously tonight and next weekend as well. Arizona or Vegas. I'm sure Dubnik will be against Vegas and Arizona will be Stalock, but we'll see. Maybe they should switch it up just to guarantee a win against the yeah, like Boudreaux would say, Arizona Coyotes. You got to win a game. God, but I won't be previewing Arizona till next week. Boy, 7-2 loss on the 6th of January, 7-1 loss on the 2nd of March. Well, let's split the season series, okay? I think the Wild can and should get the job done against the Colorado Avalanche. They're starting to drop off again. They'll have a little tune-up against the Arizona Coyotes before they head back on the road. A little 2-game road trip in Chicago, Columbus, both losses. I think they'll beat Arizona, tune up, and then gear up for another couple of semi-tough opponents. Obviously, Minnesota is tougher than St. Louis right now, much tougher. I think the Wild will win the game, believe it or not. Devin Dubnyk has been so sharp of late. I think the Wild are going to come out aggressive, wanting to beat this club who's embarrassed them pretty nastily the last couple of games, 7-2 and 7-1. Something's got to give here. I think the Wild skate to something solid, like a 5-2 win. I think it's going to be a surprise a bit for the Colorado Avalanche. I think they're going to run into a little wall here. I like the way the Wild are playing. They'll reach 5 wins in a row. Nathan MacKinnon, obviously, pretty much the best player in the NHL this season. Him and Adam Hall are the best players in the NHL right now. Obviously, you got Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, but I think one of these two guys should get the Hart Trophy for the season. Their value is unbelievable. Nathan MacKinnon has made other players around him better, and good on the other players as well for stepping up, like Tyson Barrie, Mikko Rantanen, who's got 66 points on the season, a point a game for Mikko Rantanen. He's on pace for 82 points. Wow, man, great season. 22 goals, 44 assists for him, being Rantanen, and of course Nathan MacKinnon. 32 goals, and he missed just 7 games. That's not bad considering the injury he had. Almost 80 points for him. Very deep club. They're rising up. Varlamov is all over the place, as is Jonathan Bernier. Some nights they're unbelievable, and some nights they suck. So one night, I guess that's how Dubnyk is too sometimes, where he'll give up like 5 goals or something and get pulled. And then the next night, he'll face 40 shots and give up 1 goal. So that's kind of how Varlamov and Bernier have been all season. It's a good combination. You got the nice wily veteran backup and the in his prime, semi-young in his prime Varlamov. He's not that young anymore. He played with frickin' Boudreaux in Washington. That's a long time ago already. So, yeah, that's years ago. So Varlamov not that young anymore. I think the Wild will skate to like a 5-2, 4-2 type of win. Will it be an empty net, whatever it is? Most likely guy to score in the game for Minnesota. Let's go with Zach Parise. Let's keep him going, keep things rolling. I think Parise's going to get his 4th goal in 5 games. Maybe he'll score against Edmonton, but I don't know. That's wishful thinking. I don't think he's just going to score a goal in every game, but I do believe he will score one of those close gut-him-out goals against the Colorado Avalanche to help the Wild defeat that club in Xcel Energy Center on Tuesday, March the 13th. It's a fun matchup, fun game, and the Wild owe this club one. A club that owes us one, and yeah, obviously they're ultra talented for the most part. Mostly their depth and unbelievable drafting in the expansion draft and wily moves and this and that. A budding new franchise that will be the first team to have a winning record and make the playoffs and all that. It's pretty impressive what the Vegas Golden Knights have accomplished. It's quite a story indeed. You look at a lot of their players, of course, but the one that stands out to you and slaps you right across the face like that, and I mean harder than what I just did. Eric Staal, are you serious? 46 points, 46 in 62 games. Eric Staal is that good. He's been playing top line center, second line center. He's a top 6 center, top 6 forward for this club, and he's just incredible. And he's the 5th leading scorer on the Vegas Golden Knights. Alex Tuch, who I think is a little on the soft side, has 30 points on the season. Not bad in the 63 games. He's been staying healthy for the most part. William Karlsson has just been an incredible find. 35 goals for William Karlsson. That's impressive. I mean, he deserves a lot of props. Vegas has not been playing as well of late, and they'll have to play Buffalo, Philadelphia, New Jersey before they play the Minnesota Wild. I could see 2 losses out of that group. It's like, you could kind of almost flip a coin between Colorado and Vegas. I don't think the Wild are going to win in Vegas. I don't. it's not like you can pick the Wild to sweep the Golden Knights this year. I don't think it's going to happen. Just the law of odds and all that, and a little common sense thrown in. Even though the Knights haven't been playing as good of late, they've lost to Los Angeles 4-1, 5-4 to Ottawa. Ugh, they beat New Jersey on the road. That's really good, and got beat pretty bad by Columbus 4-1 more recently. And they shut out the Detroit Red Wings on March the 8th, my brother's 40th birthday, and 4-0. That's kind of cool. They shut him out 4-0 most recently. I just think I can't imagine the Wild sweeping the Vegas Golden Knights this year. That sounds crazy. And if they do, wow. Damn, that's good, and I would love to play them. Of course, this is the final game of the series. Being a Pacific Division, we play them 3 times. The Wild already have won the series. 2 extremely impressive wins on April the 30th, 4-2. Just made it look easy. And then 5-2 on the 2nd of February, both against Malcolm Subban, the backup goalie. A very damn good backup goalie for the Vegas Golden Knights. Marc-Andre Fleury, when healthy, has been insane. 2.19 goals against average, 93% save percentage, 3 shutouts on the year, and wow, 23-9 on the season. Malcolm Subban too, though, 11-3. What a story this club has been. David Perron, 60 points from the St. Louis Blues. Jonathan Marchalt, 65 points on the season, 29 plus minus. William Karlsson, 37 plus minus. Jiminy Christmas. Eric Hall is a -6, which is kind of weird. I don't know what's up with that, but it is what it is. I don't think the Wild will beat the Vegas Golden Knights, though. Man, they're very impressive, obviously. I've loved the way the Wild have played against this team, but I just got a feeling the Knights will win the game. Most likely guy to score for Minnesota in this game, we'll go with Eric Staal as my guess coming into this one. I think Eric Staal will score his 38th, 39th, or 40th goal of the season, depending on how things go before. Or maybe he'll get a hat trick. But I think the Vegas Knights win 4-2, 4-3, something along those lines. Maybe an empty netter to make it 4-2. It's a 3-2 kind of gut him out game, but Vegas just a little bit better down the stretch. Maybe it goes to overtime, a shootout. Hopefully the Wild can squeak out a point. But I'm thinking the Wild get 4 out of 6 points in this week until the next show. Vegas will win the game 4-2, 4-3, something like that along the way. And yeah, unfortunately, we won't go undefeated this week, but still we'll bring in another winning record. Vegas just owes us one. That's just how I feel coming into this one. I don't think we're going to sweep them, but still, the Wild will continue playing at the level that they will play the rest of the season, hopefully. They take us to another 100-point record. That would be great. So, with that, we will now jump into the prospects once again. Time to dive deep again into the prospects, as we love to do on the show. The Iowa Wild, well, they had some good games, some not so great games. They've hung in there. Justin Kloos had a 3-point night last night. Very cool. A goal and 2 assists. He's now at 41 points on the season. It feels like it should be higher, though, doesn't it? Sam Anas had a couple points last night as well. 46 now on the season. Good for him. 20 goals for the Iowa Wild. I'd like to see him get called up. Obviously, with Luke Kunin out, I think give Sam Anas a chance. He's 24 years old. It's time for him to jump up and get some playing time from Pontomac, Maryland. And, of course, a scoring machine for Quinnipiac. Went to the national championship game and then ultimately signed with the Minnesota Wild after they lost to the bleeping, I believe it was North Dakota, right? That was frustrating. Why are people locally cheering for North Dakota? Why? We hate the East Coast, so we got to cheer for North Dakota. Come on, people. They were an arch rival of the Gophers forever. If you're a Duluth Bulldogs fan, why do you want to cheer for North Dakota? Because I know some of you are Duluth Bulldog fans out there. There's no doubt about it. Come on. Mario Lucia has, by the way, just checking back on the other guys real quick. Bursky, it's been a couple games since he scored. Mario Lucia, again, scored 2 goals in his second game with the Binghamton Devils. Hasn't done bleep since, so Mario Lucia and maybe his dad. Again, Mario Lucia on his way out, obviously, to the New Jersey Devils organization, so to speak. Maybe his dad's on his way out of the Gophers as well. What an awful, awful, awful finish to at least the regular / and tournament and Big Ten tournament season, getting swept by frickin' Penn State and then getting beat again in 2 games, getting swept again in the little tournament 3-game series to start off that tournament. the Gophers are ranked 13 in the country. They'll be lucky to get a fourth seed in one of the brackets, so which is obviously like the 16th seed in the NCAA basketball tournament. Same equivalent. But in hockey, crazy things can happen. Of course, you've seen Yale win it all. You've seen others. So we've seen many, many upsets over the years. Yale, of course, the 16th seed, Minnesota, number 1 overall, and Yale beat us. And Minnesota, number 1 seed overall, and Conor McGregor and other guys like that with the with Holy Cross ended up beating the Gophers in that one too. Holy Cross, who hasn't been back to the tournament since, so that was 11 years ago. So no, 11 years ago, 12 years ago. Isn't that just great? Mario Lucia and of course Don Lucia. I don't know, man. I'm kind of ready for the Minnesota Gophers to make a change. Check out Gopher Puck Live. They don't need my help because they won't help me anyway. In any way, so. But I'll whatever. Give them a shout out. Check that show out if you feel like it. Victor Louv was able to get his 3rd assist since joining the Minnesota Wild organization in the Iowa Wild per se. Carson Soucy's at 11 points on the season. He added an assist earlier in the week, much earlier. Of course, Luke Cullen out for the season. He was up with the big club, hopefully to stay, and then he gets hurt. Unreal. The Wild have not made a call-up since Minnesota Wild, that is, have not made a call-up out of Iowa since the Luke Cullen injury. We'll see what happens, and of course, I wouldn't be surprised if they're gearing up for signing Jordan Greenway, and that's the talk, and everybody's talking about it. Even the assistant general manager, Brent Flair, from the Minnesota and Iowa Wild, more than likely will be Jordan Greenway will more than likely be joining the fray at some point in time. But their little tournament isn't over yet. He scored 2 goals. Of course, none of the stats count for the regular season stats. They're all finished for the year, unfortunately. But Jordan Greenway, 2 goals last night. Good on him in his conference tournament. As Boston University staying alive at the moment. I'm not sure they're going to do much in the NCAA tournament if they even make it at all. They're going to probably have to win their conference tournament to even get there. So odds are Jordan Greenway will be joining the Minnesota Wild fairly soon. 12 goals on the year. And remember, earlier in the year, he had a hat trick along the way. How cool is that? Brennan Menell in touch with Iowa, stuck at 21 points. So what a nice rookie season in the professional level out of Woodbury, Minnesota. Great story. Only 20 years of age for Brennan Menell. How cool is that? I'm very happy for him, without a doubt. As the Iowa Wild continue their push into the playoffs, Ryan Murphy's been picking up the points of late, too. He's now at 27. He had another multi-point game. Only 3 goals, but 24 assists, as he's been very, very solid for the Iowa Wild. Carson Soucy, one of the few guys who's a plus on the club. Almost everybody's a minus, including Justin Cluse is a minus 13. The aforementioned Ryan Murphy's a minus 9. But yeah, Carson Soucy's a plus 12. Whew. So it does say something. Carson Soucy only 11 points, but is a plus 12 on the season. Obviously, it partially depends on who you're playing with as well, but still, great numbers. Nick Steeler, who we love very much, a minus 3 in his 49 games with Iowa. So again, it does tell you something about Carson Soucy, who's a year younger than Nick Steeler. So we'll see what happens with Carson Soucy's future coming up here. Nice to see Samuel Knotts leading the team in scoring by a point versus Cal O'Reilly there, who's been a mainstay, more of a playmaker there. In fact, he leads the club in assists and all that. Cal O'Reilly, top line center, top line, second line, whatever it is, between Cluse and O'Reilly. As the spin stopped here with Cal O'Reilly there. Okay, sorry. I had to say it. Cluse, though, nice night earlier this week. Very cool. So with that, pretty much the college ranks, of course, the Gophers out at this moment, but they'll hopefully get into the tournament. You need about 3 or 4 teams that don't belong there winning the conference tournament, so the Gophers should make it. I don't think it's going to happen that many times. You'll get a Holy Cross type of team that'll sneak in there, but it won't be that many. The Gophers will wind up playing some freaking Denver type of team probably in the first round, and great. The Wild never beat the Duluth Bulldogs either if we end up playing them at some point, but we probably won't even get to play them. Pavel Ginny's been quiet in his stay in the ECHL of late. Hasn't been scoring as much. Luis Belpedio factored in the scoring last night as well in his conference tournament, but the Red Hawks have been struggling, unfortunately. And I don't know, Luis Belpedio, he's another guy. You'll probably see him with the Iowa Wild very soon because he's a senior, so he's got nowhere else to go once the season's over. Come to Iowa, brother. Come to Iowa, Luis Belpedio, and clog up that defenseman core even more. But hey, if he ends up outplaying the others and wins the job, good on him. Nick Swaney added an assist also last night for the Duluth Bulldogs. Nice start to his college career, though he's already 20 years of age, so he started a little late. 21 points in 28 games, so only 5 of them goals. Nice playmaker. Brendan Duham also added an assist in his conference tournament for Providence. Solid second season there, sophomore year, 22 points in the 35 games, 17 of them assists for the Parkland, Florida native. Parkland, Florida. As I remember how I kept, and I could never mention that, but I noticed it back then, how it's like, that name sounds familiar. Oh, it's Brendan Duham, when it comes to the city. Okay, we'll just leave that where that is. I don't need to get into that. I think you've heard enough about it. No disrespect to anybody involved in it. Just I think we've heard enough already. Avery Peterson also had an assist for Duluth last night. So a nice night for a lot of the Minnesota Wild prospects in college. All of them factoring in scoring last night during their conference tournaments. So cool. Good on them. Best of luck. And looking forward to seeing Luis Belpedio and Jordan Greenway signing professional contracts with Minnesota/Iowa coming up here very soon. So it's coming very, very soon. And it'll be nice to see them in a green sweater one way or another. So if it's Minnesota or Iowa, Jordan Greenway with Minnesota probably, and Belpedio very likely with Iowa, and go from there. It's going to be very nice to see what Belpedio can do, as clearly that guy can play for the Red Hawks. Red Hawks. So if the Minnesota Wild ever draft another Miami of Ohio player, it's the Red Hawks. It's the Red Hawks. See, I manned up. I admitted it. It's extremely embarrassing, including the Koivu contract, which I knew was 5.5. I just said 4.5 because I just said 4.5, and I don't know why, because I'm stupid. Koivu is an expensive. He's definitely an albatross contract for this club, unfortunately. I want to thank Hockey Podcast at Brave the Wild. At Brave the Wild is the Twitter account. Want to thank Hockey Podcast for retweeting the show, and Vince Germano, who also retweets it out of Australia. Thank you very much. Awesome. Really appreciate those of you out there telling your friends about the show. It does not go unnoticed. Absolutely does not. And Hockey Podcast also shows you other podcasts along the way as well to generate some interest. So the Facebook page, facebook.com/Brave the Wild, facebook.com/Brave the Wild. I'm hoping this thing loads. I don't know if it ever will, because I forget if there are any comments along the way. Obviously, I posted about Luke Cullen and nobody commented on it. I don't know why, but probably because people were kind of down in the dumps. Whoa, little avalanche here. Yikes. Okay, well, mission accomplished there. We'll move forward. Facebook.com/MNW players. I am also serve as an admin on that page. Pavel Bunyet and Marek Skyba do a wonderful job keeping up with everybody from regarding the Minnesota Wild from the top to the bottom, from the Eric Staal, Zach Parise, all the way down to Pavel Jenis, who's also from the Czech Republic, which is where Pavel Bunyet and Marek Skyba are from. They'll get their website up and running again soon. MNWplayers.com is the website. Facebook.com/MNWplayers is the Facebook page, which I encourage you to join. Please do join again, Facebook.com/Brave the Wild. All this information will be in the show description for copy and paste, or just click on the link and there you are, all that. And you can like and follow the Twitter and Facebook and all that. Final thing is the call-in lines. That way you can get your voice on here with me, which I would like. Damn it. I'd like somebody to talk Wild with, and I miss Neil Nate Dog Thiesing so much. Another shout out to him, as he'll always be a part of this show. His name will always be in the host bulletin for the show, because he's going to forever be a part of the show. And for those of you that listen to hear his voice again, he's got many shows out there, all dating all the way back to State of the Wild. It doesn't say 2009, but it goes back to 2009. So if you want to hear Neil's first ever show on here, forgive me, the audio on that episode was not the best because I was still kind of learning back then. 2009. That was actually the first time I'd ever used the kind of the Skype recording and all that. So I needed to adjust something that I didn't adjust. So you have the old left ear, right ear thing going on, which is annoying, but I apologize so much for that. And it's impossible to fix it once it's already been recorded. So that's why you got to kind of learn a thing or two. But I was taught about splitting the audio, and it sounds perfect. So learning experience sucks. Learning experience. And it was nice to have Neil Nate Dog Thiesing on so many shows together in studio, so to speak, even though it's not really a studio, but it's my studio, I guess, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of the case there. Love Neil Nate Dog Thiesing again. God rest his soul. For those of you wondering what I'm talking about, if you're brand new, Neil Nate Dog Thiesing was off and on host of the show, co-host of the show, and he passed away at the beginning of February here. Just complications in a surgery ended up taking his life, and that really sucks. Really, really sad. Surgery to help him breathe better. There were complications that were unexpected, and they took his life. And just heartbreaking time for Neil's family. So many friends. Everybody loved the guy. So I always talk about him on this show. And the last couple episodes I hadn't, and I felt kind of bad. But so it's nice to at least give him a shout out and keep a chair empty for him next to me when regarding Brave the Wild and hosting this show. So again, thanks very much. Those of you out there, loved ones of Neil Natok Thiesing, if you just happen to be listening. So thanks again for that, if that's the case. But to get on this show, also, again, the phone lines, like I was talking about, I sidetracked myself, but it's a good sidetrack, though. It's a good way of moving around there, talking about Neil again on the show. The phone line's 209-736-7877, 209-736-7877. It is a voicemail. Do treat it as such. Mention you're calling in for the Brave the Wild podcast, or Brave the Wild, or the Brave the Wild show, whatever it is. Do your statement, shout out, comment, question, and opine. Now, this is a voicemail, so there's a 3-minute limit. It cuts you off, so be careful. If you're in the middle of something, be careful. Kind of try to gauge your time on it. Same thing when you click on the Call Now button on the Facebook page. It goes straight to the same phone line through Facebook Messenger. So if you're international, it won't affect you at all. As long as you have some kind of Wi-Fi or data plan, you're good to go. And the final route, which is unlimited, audio submission route, where you use a free voice recording application on any smart device on the planet, or maybe you use Audacity on a laptop or desktop with a microphone, and you save it, treat it like a phone call or show segment, whatever it is. Save it and email it to paladinolive@yahoo.com, paladinolive@yahoo.com. Once again, that email address and everything else will be in the show description for copy and paste or whatever you want to do, or click on the link and there you are. You can send it to me, and I will convert it into an MP3 file, thanks to Zamzar.com, and there you are. In segment number 3, there'll be a third segment, or just kind of an extended second segment like this generally is. So, again, thank you very much for your inclusion on the show. Shout out to so many of you out there. Again, Jim Maddle, Sarah Maddle, Chad Walski, Chance Kostick, David Kostick, Merrick Skybaugh, Pablo Burnett. I could go on forever. Daniel Allen, out of Australia. Thank you again. Of course, Vince Germano as well, also out of Australia. I think even Tanae Brown out of New Zealand listens once in a while. And again, the Thiesing family and friends out there as well, if you happen to be listening. Thanks again. God bless. We'll be back next week with hopefully the Wild continuing their winning ways.